Hey y'all, it's Ryan again with E-RIDERRs. I need to replace this old beat up floor mat on this E-RIDERR with our new SeaDeck floor mat material. So I figured I'd turn on the camera and let you guys kind of watch me as I do this. That way in the future, if you want to add the SeaDeck material as a bit of an upgrade for your bike, then you can certainly do so yourself. We're only going to need a couple tools. We need a 3/16 hex bit, 10mm socket, a little bit of rubbing alcohol. You might need channel locks if the nut on the backside of this floor lock is a little bit tight. Otherwise, you can just do it by hand. But anyways, I'll walk you through this process. We'll go ahead and get started here. First, I'm going to use this 3/16 bit to get this top screw out of the floor mat. And then I'm just going to put it right back in the same hole. Okay, next up, I am going to remove this floor lock, like I said, just by unscrewing this nut here on the underside, and then we just feed it through, and then what I do is I put them in the floorboard so I know where they're at. Next step, we're going to remove these nuts from these screws because we're going to take this whole floor mat off. All right, now that that's off, we just chunk it. We'll get our rubbing alcohol. And we'll just put it on a rag here and then just wipe this floorboard clean. Helps the SeaDeck material adhere better. Okay, so now that we have it all cleaned up, we're going to start with our SeaDeck material. The SeaDeck material, it comes in 3 pieces. They all line up with the floorboard itself, obviously. The first piece that I start with is going to be the rear piece, the piece that's closest to the rear fender. I'll go ahead and remove this brown backing. And then what I like to do is I make sure that the corners of this piece match the angled tack welding section of the bike here. And I also want to make sure that the front edge of this SeaDeck material is lined up with the back edge of this floor plate here. That way I don't have any overlap and this won't have any obstruction opening in the future when I add the other piece. So this looks good. And again, there's no exact science to it. It's however you think it looks best. This is how I prefer to do it. The next piece is going to be this long piece that goes in the center here. You just pop out this hole for the floor lock. And then I don't remove the backing completely. I start with it just pulled back a little bit. And I line these edges up and the corners up on the back side of this floor plate. I make sure that the hole is square in the center of that circle there. And then I pull back the rest and make sure that it lines up on the front side. And that's perfect. And then the last piece is going to be the front piece. So again, I'm just going to line it up with this center piece here. And I want to make sure that this small edge on the bottom side of this triangle is in line with the edge that's in the center of this middle piece here. So I'll go ahead, I'm not going to make them touch, I'm going to leave just a little bit of a gap. That way again, whenever I open up this floorboard, there's not going to be anything rubbing, there's not going to be anything that's obstructing the floorboard from opening. And then at the top here, just make sure that it all lines up. That looks good. All right, the last step is just going to be put this lock back on the floorboard. It's a very easy process. You just stick it back in. You take your nut that you took off before. Make sure that it's lined up with the grooves there. Tighten it up. And then you're all set. New floor mat, looks great, ready to get back on the road. Thanks for watching, guys.